Hey, it's Christine, and today I'm going to show you how to use modeling paste. So I've got some modeling paste here. It's also called molding paste. And this particular one is a light molding paste. And I'm just going to use it on some heavyweight cardstock. And you want to use heavyweight cardstock because whenever you're using something that's dimensional and kind of wet, you want a cardstock that's going to hold up to what you're putting on it. The nice thing about this light molding paste is that it's kind of a little bit flexible. I mean, you don't want to be bending it back and forth or anything, but it's going to be a little more flexible for you when using it on paper. So I have a spray stencil here from Heidi Swapp that I have just attached onto my cardstock using some washi tape to hold it down. And then I've also masked off a couple of spots on here because I'm not going to do the whole thing. I just want to do some little places here and there on the cardstock. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your molding paste on your palette knife and you want to spread it across, just like that, across the stencil. And what you're doing is you're filling in these little holes in the stencil. I'm going to go back, make sure it's filled in on both sides. Try to smooth it out a little bit. Come down here. And as you can see, this molding paste goes a long way. So I've got a little tiny jar here, but it's actually lasting me quite a while. You can just kind of frost it like a cake. You do want to be careful that you are holding your palette knife at a straight edge and not dipping into any of the holes because you don't want to pull out any of the modeling paste once you've got it in there. And there we go. Easy as pie. Now you do want to make sure that you wash off your stencils right away when you're using modeling paste. If it dries on there, it's a little difficult to get off. So I'm going to go ahead and get this washed up and get my palette knife washed up. And I'm going to let this dry for a few hours and we'll come back and see what it looks like when I take the stencil off. Bye. Okay, I'm back and my modeling paste has dried on the paper now. So this is what it looks like. You get this very cool textured look. And I'm going to show you that when I was pulling the stencil off, I didn't do a very good job of it. So I got some kind of marks in my hearts here. But one thing that I have learned, especially since I became even shakier as I got older, is that I have learned to embrace the imperfection in my art. And I've realized that actually having imperfections in your art, it gives it more character than it would have normally if everything was perfect. So I used to be a major perfectionist and wanted everything to look perfect and clean and wonderful, and then I realized it's actually more interesting to the eye if there's some imperfections in it. So don't freak out if you make a mistake and you bump into things or gouge out your hearts or something and you're doing this, because it adds character to it, I think, and it makes it more interesting to look at. I was going to color these, I thought, and then I decided I really kind of like them the way that they are. I like it with that kind of monochromatic, just give you a hint of a texture thing on here. So I'm just going to show you what I plan to do with this. I've got this adorable picture of my daughter from her dance recital. So I decided with the white background of that and the pop of pink of her dress that that would go really nicely on this heart background. And I chose some paper from the Blossoms and Butterflies collection. And that's die cuts with a view pad. And I fussy cut out a bunch of flowers and butterflies and some strips of paper here. You're kind of getting an insight into my method of madness when I make layouts. Because then what I do is I just grab everything I have in my embellishments that I think might go on there, and I throw them all together, and then I'll start mixing stuff around, seeing where I think they could go. I also decided that this would be a perfect layout for the Everything's Coming Up Roses challenge on Scrappin' Peeps. So I made these paper roses from the tutorial found in that challenge that I'm going to use on the layout. And this is, you can see here, I had quite a stash of things I thought maybe would go on. And this is probably only like 2/3 of what I had actually pulled out in the beginning. I already put some of it away. So I'm going to sit down and mess around with this and see how I want it all to come out. And when I'm done, I'll post it on the blog. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.